All right, everybody, welcome to our very special webinar. You can call it that way. And if you're watching this from YouTube and if you're just joining us live, I would love to know exactly where you're watching us from and which part of the world you're watching us from. I'm so excited to be here tonight to walk you through our 60-minute webinar. You can call it a masterclass. You can call it a public speaking workshop. Like some of you know already, my name is Oliver Nsom, and I'm going to be walking you today or tonight on how you can actually speak with confidence and with eloquence and be able to drive your message across and get people take an action and get people to make a decision, get people to change their perspectives, to change their mindset and become more productive in whatever they have been called to do here on earth. And so, if you're just joining us live from whatever part of the world, I will urge you to grab your notepad and get your pens because it's gonna be a very exciting experience. So, I want to urge you to write the name of your country where you're watching this video right now from, which is very important, so we can be able to say hello, hi from wherever you're watching. So without any ado, today I'm excited to bring to you a very special course from the Texas Institute of Public Speaking, right from Minnesota, United States of America, on how to speak with eloquence and confidence. How can you be able to speak with eloquence? By the way, when we talk of eloquence, okay, what is eloquence? I'm saying this because I actually wrote a book some years ago about how to become an eloquent speaker, and eloquence, in other words, is public speaking. You can also call that elocution. You can call that speechification. Okay, you can call that the art of public speaking. Okay, so those are synonyms of eloquence. So it's about how you express your ideas, how you express your thought, how you express your mind. And I want to shock you that the world we are living in right now has changed, whether you like it or not, whether you're in Africa or you're in Europe or you're in America or you're in Asia, wherever you are living right now. I have good news for you, at the same time bad news for you. Irrespective of how you take it, I believe it's good news. The good news is that, friend, sister, brother, colleague, the world that you knew yesteryears, weeks, month has totally changed. Right now, one of the most cheapest commodity you can ever think about is no more, the brooms, is no more the sun-dry blocks, is no more the biscuit, is no more the chickens, is no more the iron rods, is information. With the proliferation of the AI, everything you want to know, everything you want to do, and you need whatever information that you're looking for, it is just at the tip of your finger. All you have to do is to put a prompt, and ChatGPT and Claude, and Copilot will give you in seconds, will give you a minute. But this is where education comes in. This is where eloquence comes in. You will not be able to articulate your ideas so well because you have the information that is necessary to articulate the ideas. Because ChatGPT or Claude has given you everything you need to say. If you do not master elocution, eloquence, communication, you will fumble. And that is when the worst case scenario can happen. So the question is, despite the fact that we have so much information in our fingertips, how can we be able to articulate the message that we have all built together with these chatbots like Claude, like ChatGPT, like Copilot, in a way that people can be able to understand our intent? People can be able to understand exactly what we intended to say in a way we say it with a strong call to action in such a way that the decisions you want the people to make after listening to you, the actions you want the people to make after listening to you, the moves you want them to take after listening to you, they should do exactly that. How can you do that? That is where education comes in. And my friend, I want to especially invite you to the world of communication, to the world of public speaking. Welcome to Public Speaking 101. In today's session, I'm going to walk you through 7 principles, 7 things, 7 ideas, 7 bus stops, and 7 ways on how you can be able to communicate with eloquence in such a way that wherever you find yourself, be in the boardroom, in front of your class, in a business meeting, in a conference, in a seminar, in a workshop, hanging out with friends, with peers, with your children, with your family, in church, wherever you go, whatever ideas you have in you, you will be able to articulate them so succinctly, with clarity, with a strong call to action that everybody will love to make a decision out of what you have said. Now, I want to start with this. It's like breaking news, right? I want to start with this breaking news. Right now, as we talk, the global public speaking training market is estimated at 7.8 billion US dollars. Did you hear that? As we talk right now, the global public speaking market globally is estimated at 7.8 billion US dollars. And by 2034, exactly 10 years from today, is going to be estimated at 14.6 billion US dollars. 10 years from today, the public speaking industry that is estimated at $7.8 billion will be estimated by 2034 at 14.6 billion US dollars. Now, that is not just the end. The global soft skill training market exceeded 37 billion by 2025. Soft skill training, all the soft skill you can ever imagine, leadership, public speaking, emotional intelligence, all of those soft skills as of 2025, they were estimated at 37 billion US dollars in training. All right. What that means is to an ordinary person is that organizations, institutions, non-profit systems, they were able to invite experts in soft skills as of 2025, and they were distributing to them. The money in circulation was over 37 billion US dollars. It doesn't end there, my friend. So statistics reveals that by 2034, we are going to be having over 97 billion US dollars. Now, this is the bad news for those who are in Africa and other parts of the world. 50% of this money is from United States, Asia. Now, US alone is having over 1/4, more than 1/4 of all of this money in circulation, because the speaking industry in the United States is a boom. It's so huge that the organizations that structure is so well, and they are always making budget every single year to book speakers, to pay corporate trainers, and to be able to invite keynote speakers from all around the 52 states to speak in different organizations, institutions, companies, billion-dollar companies, and so on and so forth. Unlike in Africa, that is still just growing very timidly. And because we're there, we're going to change the game. And so in Africa, the speaking business is still timid, but it's making progress thanks to institutions like Canasa and other institutions like the Texas Institute of Public Speaking, the work we've been doing for the past 4 years, the past 5 years, the past 10 years. All right. Now, it doesn't end there. So the question I'm asking you, this 97 billion US dollars that is going to be in circulation for speakers in the speaking industry, what percentage of this money is going to belong to your country? What percentage of this money is going to be sent to your bank account because you earn it, because you spoke in a conference, because you train corporately in an organization or in an institution? What percentage are you gonna have it as yours? Because like I said, artificial intelligence will replace so many speakers who are not willing to learn AI to implement in their speaking. But artificial intelligence would not change your job, would not cease your job, would not take away your job. if you are proactive enough to master artificial intelligence and leverage on it as a speaker, as a trainer, as a student, as a worker, as whoever you are. So the question is, are you going to actually be part of this who are going to be earning the over 97 billion US dollars, or you're going to be among the spectators that will be watching other people earn that? So, my dear friend, if the world is investing billions in communication, shouldn't you also be investing in yourself? I want to repeat that again. If the world by 2020, by 2034 is going to be investing over 97 billion US dollars in communication alone as an industry, shouldn't you be also investing in yourself so that you can be part of those people that will be part of this national cake? Now, for those who are in Africa, I have a little bit of good and bad news for you. Statistics from the World Economic Forum stipulates that every single year in Africa, over millions of students are graduating from the university, but the continent can only absorb a certain percentage. Now, let me take it detailing. We have over 10 to 12 million students that graduate from universities and higher institutions from Africa every single year. The entire continent of Africa can only absorb just an insignificant portion of around 3 million students into the job market. The question you should be asking yourself is, what happens to the remaining 9 million students that graduate every year from institutions in Africa? Those are the people that are roaming the street with PhDs, with masters, with bachelor degrees, because they don't have those opportunities they deserve. They have studied, they can solve problems, but they don't have the opportunity to solve those problems because the entire continent ecosystem or economy can only deploy 3 million, over 3 million out of over 12 million that graduate every single year. Now, that tells us that there is a problem. And one of the ways to solve this problem is by investing in yourself to become so valuable in the marketplace that no one can replace you. At the same time, not you. And so, one of the ways for you to become so valuable and so good that nobody can ignore you or replace you is by mastering the skills of eloquence, mastering elocution, mastering rhetoric, mastering the art of public speaking, mastering speechification, mastering craftsmanship. That's public speaking. Because no matter how you're intelligent, whether you can break down every quantum physics problems into smaller bits and pieces, if you cannot be able to articulate how you were able to break down that problem in a simple way that a grade 2 or a class 2 child can understand clearly what you're talking about, friend, you will always be seen as an uneducated fellow. You will always be seen as somebody who does not have so much value. And that is why, where you are working right now, most of the people that get promotions over and over again and again and again, they came behind you. They are promoted already to senior managers, middle level managers, CEOs, directors of operations, and you are still there. Is because those people have learned this secret. They have learned how to articulate their ideas. They have learned how to articulate their thoughts. They have learned how to articulate every emotions that comes with them when they are sharing information. And that is why they assumed, your leaders will assume that they are more intelligent than you. You know why? It's because they have mastered eloquence, they have mastered elocution, they have mastered public speaking, they have mastered speechification, they have mastered the art of public speaking, they have mastered craftsmanship. And that is exactly what we're talking about here in this conversation. That is what we're looking for the next few minutes. So, my second point is this: why most people never reach their potential? That's the question Many people ask me, Oliver, why is it that most people never reach their potentials in this world? And that is a big problem. Why are most people not able to reach their potentials? Why is it that the graveyard still remains one of the most richest place on the earth surface? And it's very simple, my friend. The biggest problem is not fear, it's lack of structure in the way you communicate ideas. That's the biggest problem. And so most people will never reach their potentials, or the reason why most people never reach their potential is simply because they never learn how to communicate. Oh gosh. Now I'm a perfect example of this. I remember I was flying from South Africa to Cameroon in 2021, and our flight delayed in Kigali. And so the one day airline had to keep us in Kigali in one hotel. So when I walked into this hotel in Kigali, I solicited to talk with the CEO of this hotel. While every other person was from the flight was heading to their hotel room to check in and sleep and take over the next flight, I I I solicited to have a conversation with the CEO of this hotel. I can't forget the name of this guy, Mr. Claude. Mr. Claude received me in 5 minutes and asked me how can he be of help to me. In 5 minutes, I was able to do a pitch to Mr. Claude that gave me an opportunity to come to Rwanda all the time, to do in his hotel, to do trainings, to organize conferences at a very reasonable discount right there in his hotel. And I had so many examples of how I met someone in an airplane, in an airplane, of how I met someone in a helicopter, and I just had conversation with the person, and the next day I was flying to speak in their conference. The next day I was flying to speak in the event. I came back from Georgia, state of Georgia. I was speaking a leadership conference there a couple of weeks ago because I met someone on Facebook and we had a conversation, and I was able to articulate value. And the person recommended me to the father, which was a pastor of the church, and they booked me to fly over to Georgia, and they paid my flight ticket, paid my hotels, and all of that. Imagine what could have happened if I never knew what my word was, if I never knew what to say about what I do. I could have had all of these opportunities that I've had so far. It's because I have learned how to communicate my value. I have learned how to communicate what I know. I have learned how to express myself. And until you learn how to express yourself, friend, you will always be underestimated. You will always be undervalued. You will always be underutilized. So, congratulations for being part of this webinar. Congratulations for showing up. One of the biggest reasons why people don't fulfill their potentials as speakers is not only because they never learn how to communicate well, is because they are afraid of judgment. Friend, take note. We are talking about how to communicate with eloquence, how to be able to speak with confidence. Don't forget, that's what we're talking about. And I'm saying that one of the reasons why people never achieve their fullest potential is because number one, they don't know how to communicate. And the problem we want to solve today is how can you communicate, therefore. So I'm taking you on a journey. So I want you to follow me. Make sure you're taking your notes and make sure you have your notebook as you take note. Just follow me. So the first reason why people achieve in life or they don't fulfill their potential is number one, they don't communicate very well. The second is that they are afraid. Now, how many times have you had a good idea in a class, in a meeting, in a conference, a great question you wanted to ask, and because you were scared that they will judge you, they will criticize you if you say something wrong, if you say it the wrong way, they will laugh at you, and because of that, you shied away and just kept that. And before you notice, somebody just put up the hand and say what you wanted to say, and you're like, damn, that was what I wanted to say. That's exactly what I had in my mind. And you're like, it's over. If there was to give a prize, somebody else got the prize already. Just because of fear, you stop yourself from expressing yourself and living the truest, highest expression of yourself just because of fear. That is very dangerous. That's one of the reasons why people underutilize their potentials. And the third reason why people underutilize their potentials or they failed in life is because of lack of confidence. Friend, what is confidence? Confidence is the ability to believe in what you know, whether it is wrong or it is not wrong. You are very, very excited to share it. And like I used to say, the world belongs to people who are confident. You know, most of the times ideas will come in a raw form. If you're not confident to share the ideas because you're afraid that you make a mistake, you will never get out there. You will never make steps forward. You will never make more stride. So you don't have to be afraid, but you have to develop the confidence in yourself that though even if it's wrong, I'm going to say it. Even if it is not correct, I'm going to say it. And who knows, maybe somebody could correct me and I get the right vision. From there, I can tweak it and tweak it and tweak it and get finally the right thing to say. Because if you don't express yourself, nobody will ever correct you. And if nobody ever corrects you, you never know what is right. And you never know what is right, you will never truly express what you deserve. And people will never know what you deserve. And that's probably why where you're working right now, they're paying you peanut money because you don't know how to articulate your value. Right. So you have to do as much as possible to avoid situations where you don't express confidence because lack of confidence will destroy your career, will destroy your personality, will destroy your reputation, will destroy your future. So you have to develop boldness and confidence and show up all the time wherever it is needed. And the fourth thing I want to talk about here is a lot of people actually never achieve or reach their potentials because they don't know how to organize their ideas. They do not know how to organize their ideas. And you just follow me. I'm going to walk you through how you can effectively organize your ideas. Okay. So a lot of people do not know how to organize their ideas. How do you organize your ideas? Now, one of the best way to organize ideas that I've used is actually through acronyms. Okay. Through frameworks. Okay. So people ask me, Oliver, how do I how do I do a talk in situation where I've been surprised? We go to friends' birthdays and weddings. Have you ever been a friend's birthday, wedding or birthday, and they just surprise you? Hey, Christina, we want you to say a word here, and you get up. You're like, damn, what are they talking about? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to say. They just surprised me. I was all waiting for. I didn't prepare for this. Now, the moment you said I didn't prepare for that, you just missed an opportunity. All right, you just missed an opportunity. Some of the biggest breakthroughs that will happen in your life, they came at the time you were least prepared for them. And we call that serendipitous. All right, serendipitous connections, serendipitous breakthroughs, serendipitous meetings. What that means is that there is a framework I came up with called the PPC. Okay, PPC, like letter P, letter P, letter C. So this framework actually helps anybody in a situation where you have been surprised to say something you have no clue to say. What do you say? Just remember the PPC formula. So the first P stands for person. Okay, the second P stands for place. The third letter, which is C, stands for cliche. Okay, let's assume today is Lenyo Christina's birthday. Okay, I must learn how to communicate what I know. Thank you, Christina. If today is Lenyo Christina's birthday, for instance, and I am her friend, and we have all gathered to celebrate this phenomenal leader, and they say, Oliver, will you say something in this birthday? And I will not say, well, I did not prepare. I wouldn't say anything. Don't embarrass me. I won't say that. I will seize the opportunity. I will seize the moment. And this is what I was saying. Listen to what I'm going to say. Take note of that. PPC. Don't forget that formula. PPC. We're talking about how can you be able to organize your ideas in your talks. And I'm using the framework I came out with called PPC. Person, place, cliche. I will say this. Linyo Christina has been a great friend of mine. We met in Yaoundé at the Lead Mission Conference, and fortunately, we sat in the same table. And at the end of the event, we became very good friends. Christina is that kind of leader who can move every wall and break every wall and move every mountain. She does not believe in obstacles, she only believes in possibilities. Christina has inspired me beyond reasonable doubt and beyond what words can actually express. When I see how she took the Orators Hub S community from where it was to where it is right now, I am so amazed with the kind of leader that Christina has literally become. Within the past 2 years, I've met her. Today is a privilege to be in the beautiful city of Limbe with these amazing personalities celebrating the birthday of Christina. When I look around, when I see the cake, it is sparkling. The hall is so beautiful. In fact, let's put our hands together for the person who is the decoration for this hall. the work is just well done. And I want to say that as beautiful as this place is, that is as beautiful the heart of Christina is. And this is a clear sign that she is an exceptional leader. And that is why, of course, you see the hall jam packed and filled with a lot of great personalities. When I was growing up as a young man in Africa, I used to go to the farm every day in the northwest region of the country with my dad. And my dad will always tell me, son, always believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody will ever believe in you. At the age of 7 years, I never knew exactly what my dad meant. But as I grew older, every single day, it began to occur to me that my dad really meant something so bigger than I could imagine. And when I look at the life of Christina, I see someone who believes in herself. And we are literally here today because Christina believed in herself. And that is why we believed in her. And that has brought us all from different parts of the world, classmates, colleagues, collaborators, children, right here to celebrate this amazing leader. And I want to challenge everybody in this room right now. If you have been that one who has always doubted yourself, if you have been that one who has never believed in yourself, if you have been that one who has always seek validation from other people before you could believe in yourself, you must stop that from today. Learn from the life of Christina. Be the person who believe in yourself first, before any other person can ever believe in you. Because Christina did that, and today we're celebrating her. Who knows? Tomorrow we may be celebrating you. If only, friend, you could believe in yourself. If only, friend, you can believe in yourself beginning from today. Once again, Christina, happy birthday. We're so proud of you. And cheers to everybody. And that is it. You see what I've done? PPC. I've talked about the person, which is Christina, my relationship with her. I've talked about the place, which is Limberg, birthday, assumed Limberg, where the birthday is actually taking place right now. I've talked about the cliche. A cliche is a wise word, it's a proverb, it's an African proverb, it's a Bible quote, whatever, it's a Quran quote, whatever that resonates with you. And you must connect it back to the person or the celebrant. I have connected it back to what my father told me. I've connected it back to Christina, and I've challenged everybody from that particular cliche. And that is the power of organizing your words. Somebody type framework. Wherever you're watching right now, type framework on the comment section. This is so powerful. That will change your life, literally change and transform your career. Okay, so always put your ideas in framework. So next time you're asked to say something in a wedding, in a birthday, in a party, wherever, you can always use the PPC formula: person, place, cliche. All right, that's so powerful. Thank you so much, Christina. That's so powerful. Person, place, cliche. All right, so that is exactly what you do, my friend, when you find yourself in such a situation. So you don't have to miss out how to organize your ideas. You organize your ideas in frameworks. You organize your ideas in a way that people can easily remember, using letters, using numbers, and all of that. Okay, framework. Thank you so much, Betty, Ada. Thank you, Prosper. Thank you so much. Amen. Jason, awesome. Framework, framework, framework. So the last reason why people destroy their potential and never become the best version of themselves is simply because they wait for opportunity instead of preparing for opportunity. Yes, yes, yes. So in 2010, I launched my speaking career. I was so bad. I was so horrible. I was so terrible that I knew nobody could invite me to speak. But I remember in 2008 when I did my first talk in Cameroon, in Bamenda, I spoke in front of over 3,000, 2,000 to 3,000 people in a youth camp, somewhere in Maitri, somewhere in one full gospel training center. I messed up. I had 3 minutes to talk and I screwed up. What that means is that I literally fumbled upon my words. I actually slot it, and it was horrible. I felt bad. That was my first talk. I messed up. I almost said it's over with public speaking for me. But I got encouragement from classmates, to Eric, from a couple of friends that don't give up, keep on going, keep on going. And I was encouraged. And I took that as a learning opportunity and I kept improving myself. And before you notice, I started speaking in bigger events in different countries, in different continents. And today, I've spoken all around the world in over 16 countries. Okay. So I never waited for an opportunity. I created my own opportunities. Okay. So if you want to articulate well, to speak with confidence, don't wait for people to give you the opportunity. Create your own event. Create your own event. One of the ways to create is put on your camera and start talking in front of the video, in front of your phone. Okay, gather your friends. In high school, I was in high school in 2009 in Cameroon, in Natiala, and I did something crazy. So my grandma gave me 150 francs. That's less than $1 to go and use in school for breakfast, whatever lunch. I literally paid my classmate Ambe. I will never forget the name of this guy, Ambe Caleb. I paid Ambe 150 francs CFA to listen to me talk during break because I pleaded with my classmate to listen to me talk. Nobody was ready to sit in class and listen to me talk. Okay. And while in high school, I paid my classmate $150. I sacrificed my lunch because I wanted somebody to be an audience for me. And that is how I spoke, and he clapped for me, and I was excited. I was learning and practicing and rehearsing my craft. So, what opportunities, what platforms are you creating for yourself to speak? Stop waiting for a conference to invite you to become confident. Stop waiting for an organization to speak to become confident. Start creating organizations, because those companies and those organizations and those institutions, those universities, high schools, they will only see you in the course of you doing it. They will never see you in your house and drag you out of your house and pull you out of your house. You have to be somewhere doing something, my friend. You don't have to wait for people to dictate the fate of your speaking. You have to get out there, get busy, do something. And in the course of that, that's how you'll be discovered. All right. Number 3, the 3 pillars of powerful communication. Okay, this is very important. What are the 3 pillars of powerful communication? Right? What are the 3 pillars of powerful communication? Number 1, clarity. Have you ever seen people that they speak so much and you're not getting anything they're saying? They're only speaking, no action. Now, anywhere you speak for 30 seconds, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and people cannot make a decision, they cannot decide on something to do, they have not gotten what you've asked them to do, there is a sign, or that is a sign that you don't have clarity of what they're talking about. Anytime you speak to somebody for more than 30 seconds, the person should be able to know exactly what you want the person to do. Same thing when you preach, same thing when you do a corporate training, same thing when you're speaking to children in assembly grounds, in universities, in colleges, into speaking to people in the corporate world, or in companies, institutions, in conferences. You have to always have clarity of what you're talking about. How do you know that you have clarity? If you're able to deliver a 2-minute talk, and at the end of the day, people take a decision, people make an action, people are able to do something with what you have said, that is how you know that you have clarity in what you're talking about. All right. So the first thing is that you have to be clear of your message. Your message needs to be so glaringly clear. People cannot follow confusion speakers. There are speakers that speak a lot, but you don't hear what they're saying. Don't be that kind of speaker. Structure your presentation in points. When you finish with this point, you go to this point. You go to this one, you go to that one. And then when you close, you said, I want you to do this after listening to this presentation. That is a speaker with clarity. That's the first thing that you can actually do to become a powerful communicator. All right. So make your point very clear. I love the way doctors speak in the hospital. They don't get into details. They just tell you what they want you to know. All right. The second thing is be confident. We talked so much about confidence already. Confidence actually grows from preparation. All right. Can you type that in the comment section? Confidence grows from preparation. Now, for those who have written some public examinations, okay, for those who are from Africa, there's what we call the GCE, General Certificate of Education. I hope I got that right. So we have what we call the GCE O levels. We have what we call the GCE A levels. If you go to university, there's what we call the bachelor's and the master's and the PhDs. Before you do that, you have to write a thesis. You have to write, all right, CAs. Okay. Now, how do you feel if you're writing GCE A levels, for instance? How do you feel when you come in to write a paper? Let's say philosophy or economics or geography, okay, or even biology. How do you feel when you receive your examination paper? All right, the examiner have put the paper in front of you. They stay open. You open the question in front of you and you glance through the questions, the first 20 questions, and you have all read them and prepared the answers. How do you feel seeing 20 questions already out of 30 and you know all the answers to 20 questions? Of course, you feel excited, you feel confident, all right? You feel overwhelmed because you prepared for that. Now, if anything is happening in that examination hall, there is no way you're going to panic because you know that you know. You have that confidence that you know what you have read and you know that this is what they're asking me and I know that this is the answer I'm giving. That is the kind of confidence I'm talking about. All right. Confidence only comes with adequate preparation. That's why they will say, if you don't prepare to succeed, you're preparing to fail. And I think it was Abraham Lincoln that said something that if you're given 5 hours to cut a tree, take 4 hours, 30 minutes, sharpen the machete, sharpen your machete, and then take 30 minutes, cut a tree. That's so powerful. There is power in preparation. How far you can go in life is always directly proportional to how well you prepare. Some people look at me today, some people are even jealous of me that, oh, how comes you're just speaking around the world, traveling to America, to India, to all of these places? What did you do? They never knew what I did. It took me 12 years from 2010 to 2022 speaking for free. I spoke for 12 years. I was never paid up to $1,000 US. That's around 600,000 safe out. I was not paid for 12. Who will do that kind of bullshit? Like, who will spend 12 years of his or her life doing a job that they're not paying him or her, and she will continue doing it? That would be like bullshit. Like, that's stupidity. But because I believe that this was what I was born to do, this was what God called me to do, I kept on doing it. And today, I travel any country of the world I want to travel, and I want to speak. Is that's the power of preparation. So the 12 years was not speaking for free, was grounding myself, building a foundation that I can stand to speak in any country of the world, to speak on any stage in the world. That is so powerful. So the question is, are you currently preparing yourself for the opportunities that you have always been craving and desiring and yearning to come your way? Or you are there complaining and blaming how the system of your government, how the government of your country has failed you, how your uncles failed you, your auntie fails you, how your parents have just completely failed you, or how your brothers are disappointing you in the help you're seeking from them. It is high time, my friend, to stop blaming people and start blaming yourself. If you can fail, you're the only person to be blamed because you are the only person that is responsible for your life. So you don't have any other person to blame but yourself. I know you'll be saying, Oliver, what are you talking about? Oh, the government is failing us. The government is who? Who is the government? Is the government not you and myself? So you have to prepare for the future you are waiting for because you don't want the future to happen by accident. The future will never happen by chance. You must design the future, plan for the future, prepare for the future that you want. And no one, no government, no president, no person will do that for you except yourself, my friend. So it's high time we stop blaming people about our failures and disadvantages in life and start blaming ourselves. And when we begin to blame ourselves, we're shifting the narrative and we're not taking responsibilities over ourselves. If I make a mistake, I've made a mistake. I'm ready for the consequences. If I work hard, I've worked hard. I'm ready for the consequences. So be ready for the consequences of your decisions. So cut your suit according to your size and stop shifting blame. The moment we stop shifting blame to other people, that is the time that we truly, truly, truly take responsibility of our lives. Gum Paulette, senior from Atiala, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. Thank you so much, my dear senior from Atiala. Okay, I have a testimony here. Somebody was there while we were in Atiala together. Thank you so much, my dear Paulette. So that's the point. So we have to stop blaming people and believe that there's nothing like so much luck. Luck is hard work meeting preparation. That some people have said they're lucky. They have simply worked hard, prepared for the days they were waiting, and when the days came and meet them, that's how they become fortunate. So there's nothing like really luck. You have to work harder, wait for the opportunities. When they come, you seize them. You have to just learn to seize them. So you have to stop blaming the ecosystem, your parents, the governments, your elders, your brothers and sisters, they are not responsible, but you are responsible. So that is how you develop confidence. You have to prepare, just like a GCE candidate who prepared very well for further math or geography or geology, and the papers just came and they just nail it. That is, by the time you're leaving the hall, everyone is shouting and screaming and asking, how was it? You're just confident because you know exactly what you did. And the good news is this, friend. When you prepare for your moment to come, for your opportunity to come, for your season to come, when the season is about to come, you always feel it. And stay focused and stay steady. And when it comes, go get it. Go get it. That takes us to our third reason on the three pillars of powerful communication. Okay. The third point, connection. People forget information, they remember emotions. Okay. So people forget information, but they remember emotions. So you cannot be telling people that it was a sad day. Why smiling? Oh, it was a sad day. No, you have to say it was a sad day. You cannot be telling people that it was a beautiful day. Why you're frowning? No. So your emotions, your facial expression, your body language, your hand gestures must always communicate what you actually intend to say with your mouth. All right. So I said, if I'm talking about three things, if I say two things and I'm showing you three things, you have to believe three things, not two things. If I'm saying two things and I'm showing you four things, you will literally believe four things, not two things. All right. So if I say you should show me your arm by showing my ankle, it will not resonate. So what this means is that connection in speaking is very important. And the mistake many speakers make is that when you go to speak to people, stop talking about your great achievements, accomplishment. That will disconnect people from listening to you. Every audience wants this from a speaker. Take us from our level. Oh man, this is so important. Take us from where we are. Take us from where we are. All right? Take us from where we are. Don't take us from where you are. So if you're a speaker, for instance, you have a PhD, you come to speak to college students, to university kids in level 100 or 200 or 300, avoid talking about your PhD to them. That you can intimidate them. You can frighten them with that. If you're a speaker from Europe, from America, and all of that, you go to Africa to speak. Stop talking about your experiences traveling and speaking around the world. Just relate to them based on the context where they are. Talk about how you were, what you were doing, why you were where they were, how life was tough, how life was challenging, and how you navigated your way out. So that is a way to connect. Don't bring in so much accomplishment to bore your audience with, because they will disconnect from you. Every single person love to someone, a speaker that can relate with them. Okay, that is how you connect to people's emotions, and that is how you create credibility. That's how you also build credibility for people to be able to listen to you. So you have to start where they are and then take them to where you were. Don't start with where you were or where you are right now and coming back to where they are. Start from where they are, because if you don't start from where they are, they will block you psychologically. They will stop listening to you though they are sitting with you. But if you start from where they are, they will literally listen to you and you take them to where you want them to go. At the end of the day, you will not hit the call to action. And that is when they will be able to get your message. So connection is very, very important, my friend. Use stories, show empathy, make your audience feel something. All right. That's why emotions matters here a lot. Stories matters a lot. And one of the greatest weapons of a speaker is your stories. People don't believe in facts and statistics. They don't care. But if you don't tell them stories, and compelling stories for that matter, they might not get your point. So you must learn to tell stories as a speaker. Did you hear that? Learn to tell stories. And you have to master the art of storytelling. All right. That's a conversation for a different day. You must learn to tell stories. So great communicators or great communication isn't about talking more. It's about connecting better with the audience. At times you can ask them to ask questions. At times you can ask them to stand up and practice something and say something. You can ask them to turn and give a high five to their neighbors. You can ask a question and ask them to turn and discuss with their neighbors. That is how you create connection. And that is what it takes to become a great communicator. All right. Okay. I'm gradually rounding up, guys. I respect time a lot. So let's look at the fourth thing here, the AI revolution. Why speaking matters more than ever right now. We talked about that. AI is actually replacing repetitive work right now, but AI can never replace human communication. Do you agree that? Okay, as of 27, statistics was revealing a lot of stuff. Somebody says that according to studies, it was realized that in every 30 seconds, over 2,000 new words are being created in any single industry. For instance, if you're into banking, in 30 seconds by 2008, over 2,000 words all around the world are created in the banking space. If you're into agriculture, over 2,000 words in every 30 seconds were created in that agricultural space, which means that by 2008, 9, and 10, if you had to study to become the best banker in the world, you will need to spend at least 5 to 8 years studying every single day to catch up with the level of knowledge that was actually at your disposal to become the best in your industry, to become a master. But right now, things have shifted. There's a big shift, paradigm shift. What is the shift? AI has come to the level that anything you want, just with a single prompt, you can get all of that in not up to 30 seconds. Just in 30 seconds, you get a bunch of information. So the question is no more, we need more information to make better decisions. The question is now, with all the information we have, what can we do to be able to articulate it, to express it in a way that our point should get across? So the question is, with all the information we have right now, this is the concern. How can we be able to communicate and articulate our ideas, our stories, our narratives in such a way that the point will get across? That is a real concern right now. So AI would take away a lot of jobs, which is already doing that. Microsoft, you know, a lot of companies around the world are downsizing, sending people back home and deploying AI agents and robots. And they're doing pretty good. They don't go for leaves, they don't go for toiletry, they don't go for maternity leave. They're just there working 24/7. But what AI will not do is replace someone as a speaker who can articulate so well, better than AI, to real humans. And using AI to leverage all of that articulation. That is what AI will never replace. What does that mean? That means that people that will stand up in this era, in this dispensation, will be people that have mastered AI and they have understood the human emotions and they know how to connect and blend all of that to get what they are doing. So the question I have for you is, are you a student of AI, or you are among those who are like, damn, I don't care, doesn't help, the thing will go back? I have bad news for you. If that is you, AI is here to stay. And this is the best time to learn it, because if you don't learn it now, just in 4 months, you become very confused on what to learn and what not to learn, because it must have gone very far that you will be so behind. So, and that will affect the way you communicate, because very soon people will be talking in terms of AI agents, AI robots. And if you have not been learning, you'll find yourself lacking behind. So, dear friend, I want to challenge you. The most in demand skill in the age of AI is the ability to communicate with clarity and lead with impact. And you can do that possibly leveraging on AI tools, AI agents, Claude and ChatGPT and the Copilot. There are so many of them out there. So in the age of AI, average speakers will be forgotten. Exceptional speakers or communicators will lead the future. And so my question for you, friend, is, are you an average speaker, or you are an exceptional speaker? So this is, it's not late. You can always scale up. You can always scale up. You can always scale up. Okay. So I have 7 pointers. I want to talk about the fifth one, and then we can take it from there. So 5 mistakes that destroy great speakers. 5 mistakes that destroy great speakers. Number 1, reading slides. Have you ever gone to a conference or to an NGO report meeting or to a workshop, and the speaker is talking and he is literally reading everything from the slide? Have you ever experienced that? A speaker is talking and he's literally reading every single word from the slide. How many of you have experienced that? That is so devastating. That is horrible. So that would destroy your speaking career. We talked about preparation, how to gain confidence. It is always because as they did not take enough time or ample time to prepare. So the challenge for you is I delivered a talk somewhere in Georgia, Savannah, Georgia, the other day. After my talk, I had two more invitations to come and speak in Georgia because Dr. Stacy told me that your presentation was so compelling, and I wonder how long it took you to prepare for that. Do you know that it took me 45 days preparing for a 20-minute talk? True story. It took me 45 days rehearsing for a 20-minute talk. And when I delivered that talk, immediately in that hall, I got two more invitations to come and deliver different talks. Imagine that if I did not take time to prepare that presentation, I could have screwed up or messed up. I never could have had the opportunity to come and speak again in Georgia the next month. That is the power of preparation. So if you don't prepare well, the obvious thing is that you'll be reading from the slide, from the PowerPoint or from the projection, and that'll be so boring. You know why that is really bad? Is because, friend, you'll not be able to connect authentically to your audience. The moment you are reading from the slide, you will not connect with your audience, and that is so horrible. You don't come to talk to the projector, you're not talking to the walls, you're talking to human beings, and they need to feel you. There is no way you can be talking to me and looking elsewhere and you expect. You have to be able to talk in a way that your audience can actually feel you. You got to do that. So avoid reading your presentations from the slides. That is very dangerous. It disconnects you from your audience and destroys your credibility. If you want to have credibility on the stage, make sure you master what you're talking about. So that if this presentation slide is there or it's not there, you can just go ahead and fire up. The second thing that I want to talk about on the mistake that speakers do is that they talk too much. Okay, as a speaker, you must learn that long speeches lose attention and say more by saying less. All right, you have to learn to say more by saying less. And then the next point is no stories. No stories. You cannot connect with people emotionally without telling them stories. Facts inform, but stories transform people. And remember that stories always transform lives, and stories really matters a lot. Okay, stories very matters a lot. So master stories. And some people, how do I tell a story? How do I get stories to tell? It's simple. Okay, one of my coaches, Daniel, said something very interesting. How to get stories. Go to your phone. January, go to your picture gallery from January. Start scrolling the pictures you took in your phone from January right up to today. Each picture you took with whoever you took the picture with, that is a story that you can share and inspire people. As simple as that. If you want to know how to tell stories, go to your phone, pick a picture from your phone gallery, and then tell a story about what happened, where you were, the people you were, and the lesson people can learn from that experience. That is as simple as that on how to tell stories. Okay. Now, one of the reasons why people make mistakes and it destroys their great presentation is that there's what we call weak openings. Weak openings. Some people open talks with ladies and gentlemen. That is bullshit. Never do that again. That's old school. Some people open talks by good morning, everybody, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching me for. That is nonsense. That's old school. Don't do that again. Some people open talks like, dear everybody, I'm excited to be here tonight. That is not a very cool way to open a talk. This is how you open a talk. It was on Saturday, May 1977. I got up from bed and the whole house was dead. I tried to scream, to call, to shout, to cry, but nothing was happening. I turned to the left. You see, that is how you open a talk. That's how you open a talk. You open a talk with this. By 2034, over 97 billion US dollars will be in circulation in the speaking industry. That is how to open a talk. You see, open a talk with a striking statistic, with a striking story, with an anecdote, with humor, so that because when people laugh, especially when you open a story, they connect. When people laugh, They listen. When they listen, they learn. When they learn, they are transformed. Again, when people laugh, they listen. That's the next thing they do. That's why people listen a lot to comedians, because when they laugh, the next thing is that they listen. When they listen, they learn. When they learn, they get transformed. When they get transformed, they become better citizens. So one of the best ways for you to become a great and a compelling speaker is to learn how to be a comedian. Learn how to be humorous at the start. When you crack a joke, people laugh sparingly in the course of your conversation, because that will always engage people again and again. People will never be bored. They will never sleep on your talks, on your stages, and that's amazing. So you can use a story, you can use humor, you can use startling statistics, you can use anecdote, you can use anything that is unusual, and people will give attention to that. Because when you come with an old school, everything that people know, good morning, everybody knows that. Good afternoon, everybody knows that. Some people start videos on YouTube like good morning, good afternoon, wherever. No, that's bullshit. That's old school. Right. So you don't have to do the normal, don't do the obvious, don't do the common things. If you want to be disruptive, come in a way that people will least expect. And that is when people lean on to listen to you, friend. And that is when people give their attentions to you, friend. That is when people fold up their hands and like, tell us more, tell us more, tell us more. That is who a transformational speaker is. And that is my wish for each and every one of you, to actually become a transformational speaker, so we can be able to share your story across the world. And for those who are in Cameroon, good luck for you and good news for you. Our team will be in Cameroon, so we can actually get you on studies so you can practice this physically. And finally, ending a talk without a call to action. We talk so much about this. You don't end a talk without a call to action. Okay? You must end a talk with a call to action. What is a call to action? Anytime a teacher teaches a class, he finishes by giving an assignment, giving a test, asking a question, interacting with students to be sure that they master the lesson. That's a call to action. All right. So when a politician, a politician do a talk, the politician at the end of the day asks people to vote. That's a call to action. He's doing the talk because he wants you to vote. When the pastor preaches on Sunday, he wants you to give your life to Christ. That's why he's preaching. All right. That's the call to action. When a speaker speaks, he wants you to take action, to make a decision that will change your life. All right. If you're doing a talk to young people who have been addicted with drugs, at the end of the day, you want to see them stop taking drugs, stop associating themselves with the wrong peers, and start dissociating with themselves with those people, so they can be able to heal themselves from all of those drugs, illegal drugs they're taking. That's why you're doing the talk to them, because you want them to cease from those maladaptive practices. That's why you're doing the talk. And so even you are talking to your kids, to your husband, to your wife, wherever you are, to your colleagues, you must always have a call to action. I'm saying this because this is what I wanted to do. This is what I want to see. This is how I want us to live. This is how I want things to move. This is how I wish things to move. That is your call to action. So don't make a 30-second speech, a 1-minute speech, a 2-minute speech, a 2-hour speech without having or finishing with the call to action, friend. All right. So unfortunately, because of time, I have 2 more points that I cannot finish. The next point was actually not the TIPS communication blueprint. I talked about the SPEAK framework that we use to train our students at TIPS. And of course, interestingly, I have a team. My team here is actually ready. So we have worked so hard for the past years. We've trained hundreds and thousands of students across the world, in the United States of America, in Africa, in Europe, in Singapore, and it's of course in Cameroon. Cameroon is home, and this time around we are launching a 1-month training certification program for people who are actually interested in becoming compelling speakers. Of course, you know very well that in 1 hour you cannot actually learn how to master elocution and practice it. The most important thing is practicing how to speak. So it takes at least some time for you to practice the tips you've learned, to practice all of these principles we've been able to share. And that is exactly why, together with my team, we have put together a world-class standard training. That's the same training I used to train students in the United States, in Europe, in Asia, and all around the world, that we are putting to you. And we actually designed this training because we realized that there are a lot of people failing in their organizations, failing in the companies where they serve. When your boss asks you to do a simple report, you fumble upon your words, you dabbled, you you skip words, you just get confused, you're panicking, you're talking to your colleagues and you're afraid, you're scared. That becomes a problem. You go to church, they ask you to lead a women's group, you don't know what to say, right? You go to school, your professor or lecturer asks you to come in front of the class to express yourself, to answer a question. You're so scared, you're so afraid. So that is why we designed this course. We did not design this course only for people who want to become effective communicators, but we designed the course for people who really want to be able to improve their communication skills so they can do interpersonal communication within organizations, and also for people who are struggling to get promotion because they don't know how to sell themselves. Everybody knows that you had 5A grades, right? In advanced level, you had 11A grades in ordinary level. Everybody know that you graduated with a 3.9 or 4.0 GPA, but you are stuck in your work. Nobody is promoting you. They appreciate the quality of the work you do, but because you don't always communicate and articulate that quality, that standard, that excellence in the board meetings, when you're talking with your director, your supervisors, your senior colleagues, they cannot be able to anticipate, they cannot be able to see the value that you have. And that is exactly why we designed this course. So this course is a 1 month training, and you don't have to sit with anybody. Okay, it is a self-paced course. So what happens is that we give you a system. We have a learning management platform we built already that students around the world are using. So once you sign up for this course, you have a self-paced. You have to study and finish within 3 weeks. And after you're finished, we will be able to evaluate you practically on site, and from then you will be able to speak on a stage. We give you a stage, a live stage to do a talk, and then there's going to be a judge, a panel of judge, like you're defending a thesis, a PhD or master's thesis. They will judge you on your body language, on your content mastery, on your elocution, okay, how you articulate. They will also judge you on your movement around the stage, because there's a way you move around the stage. And if you pass all of that, we'll be able to certify you as a speaker. Not only because you want to become a professional speaker to speak around the world, but also because you want to excel in your career. You want to be promoted. You want not to be stuck in one level in your career or in your life. Okay. You want to improve on your relationship with your spouse, with your children. You want to learn how to communicate your ideas better in a way that they should not be angry, but they should appreciate your point. So that is exactly why we designed this course. And so right now we are actually enrolling students. So if you feel like this is something you want to do, uh, you can kindly indicate, and my assistant Hilda is there, and one of our team members is going to send you some details that you can actually fill up to be part of this program. Or you can reach out to me on Facebook, WhatsApp if we're connected, and then we will enroll you for this program. I know people will be asking me, Oliver, how much is this program? How much is this program? Yeah, this program is not for everybody. It's only for people who are intentional. This program is $120. $120 is 65,000. Average is 65,000 francs CFA, and we accept payments only in 2 installments. So it's $120. That's 65,000 francs. So it's only for people who are working. So if you're not working, please, this is not for you. That will not really help you. If you're not having something doing professionally, it will not really help you. But if you're working, you're doing something already, and you want to improve the way you communicate, how people perceive you, this is for you. So if you're reaching out to us, you should be doing something. You should be an entrepreneur or a business person, or someone in a corporate organization that you want promotion, you want to excel, you want to articulate better. And that is exactly who that program was. That's our persona. What that means is that that's the person the program was actually designed for. So at this point, I would love to receive questions. If you have a question, you can ask me right now. I'll gladly answer. Okay. So is there anybody, Hilda, is there anybody with a question for me, please? Just write your question on the comment section, please, and then I will gladly answer. I will read and answer you. Okay. So that is the program. Like I said, it's a 1 month public speaking accelerator program. Speak inspired and impact the world. 30 days to confidence that opens doors. Okay. Thank you, my dear Betty Ada. Glad that you admire the program. All right. So ask the questions right now and I will gladly answer the question. Okay. So all right. So apart from this program, as we're currently enrolling students, we equally have some resources that could also benefit you, that you might be interested. All right. So this is actually a great resource for those who are in uh, Africa. Speak with Impact, Speaker's Guide to Thriving in the Cameroon's Public Speaking Industry. Okay, this is a book that I've written, a very powerful book for those who want to excel and thrive in the speaking industry in Cameroon. So this book is $7. $7 should be like 3,500 francs in Cameroon. So if you need the book, you can also indicate, and one of our team members is definitely going to reach out to you with a copy. So we have uh, hard copies and there's soft copies. So the soft copy is 3,500, and then the hard copy is 3,500. So right now the book is 3,500. We don't care whether you're buying the soft copy or the hard copy. We actually care. It's just that we cannot change the price because you're buying the soft copy or the hard copy. Okay. So okay, we have another book here, but before that, I want to answer this question. Please, sir, PPC framework didn't get the C. Like, could you help with the spelling? Yeah, of course. So we have the PPC framework. The C is a cliche. Cliche is actually a borrowed word from French. It's something like that. Cliche. Okay, cliche. Cliche is like a proverb, a wise word, a Bible quote. Cliche. There is an asang. How do they call it, Chris? It's a sang tegu, a sang circumflex, or a sang tegu. You know, there's a cliche there. They call it cliche. PPC. Cliche. Person, place, cliche. Hope that helps. Yeah, confidence, group, and preparation. Awesome. How was your first year? Which 2010? How did you start? Okay, thank you, Santa Ping. Okay, the question is, how was my first year? Man, you know what I mean? Like it was crazy. It was crazy. I'm the kind of person that I don't wait for things to happen. I go and create things. So my first year was crazy. I was very naive. Yeah, I was like, okay. So when I was in the secondary school, like middle school in the United States, secondary school in Cameroon, in Africa, my teacher asked us, "What do you want to become in future?" And I went in front of the class. I've always been this kid that was very bold, innocent, ignorant, but very bold. So I could actually put up my hand. You know, those kind of students in class that they don't know the answer, but they put up their hands, right? That was me. You have to forgive me for that. That was me. The student who don't know the answer but says, sir, like I sir, I sir, I sir, I sir. Yes, Oliver. The man who discovered the steel route to India. Like, damn, that's not the right answer. I'm like, okay. But I got something. The fact that I stood up and answered a question gave me some confidence and boldness. So next time I will do that again. And the more they say no, I started researching the right answers. That was the kind of person I was. So I said I want to become a global speaker in Form 2. They laughed at me. That was so ridiculous and very demeaning. I didn't give up. So 28, I spoke for the first time in front of thousands. I messed up. I didn't give up. I did not give up. Then 2010, I'm like, this thing I've been telling everybody I want to do, I want to do, I want to do. This thing that everybody knows me for it. Let me just do it full time. So guess what? I officially just say I am declaring myself a professional speaker. Everybody told me that you could not make a living from Cameroon from speaking by then. Now it's very possible. I'm like, well, if nobody ever did that, I'm going to be the first person to do that. And I went full time for 12 years. and I did not make up to $1,000, over 600 or 70,000. That was damn crazy, guys. So, and the good news is that in 23, I had the biggest breakthrough in my career. I got a special invitation to speak in Singapore in Asia, and they paid my flight ticket, they paid my hotels, and that was the day that the Lord has prepared for me. Right? So, to my friend who asked the question, how was your first year? So my first year, I made 0.00 francs CFA. From second, third, fourth year, I started making money at least from the fifth year. That was back then, man. So things have changed. I have people I've trained, and within the first month, they're already making a lot of money right now in Bamenda and in Cameroon. So uh, you can't be an exception. We have people who are making a lot of money from Cameroon with speaking. Speaking universities. Universities need speakers to speak to their students, encourage students. Secondary school needs speakers to speak and encourage their students and to help them dissociate those who are trying to intoxicate them with drugs and addictions. Primary school needs students. Churches need youth groups. Oh my gosh. I want to thank my friends. Show Leslie, I never forget this guy. He repeatedly, you know, brought me to his youth group to speak to the youth all the time, again and again, again and again and again. And that was how I got opportunity to speak, rehearse, practice, polish my presentation skills. Boom! Here am I, by the grace of God, I've spoken in 16 countries, in different countries. So that's amazing. So that was actually what happens, my friend Santo. So the next book I will recommend to you guys is Highly Paid: How to Become a Highly Paid Speaker. Yay! This is a book that you don't want to miss out. It's a very short book, but very powerful. How to become a highly paid speaker. This book I wrote on how can you be able to accept to speak for free and then yet you pay yourself for speaking for free. So there's a system on how, even if they don't pay you for the start, there's a way you can make money. Even if the event planner does not pay you, there's a way you can make money. Okay, so you can also find this in this book. I just want to share this with you. I don't want to hide stuff from you at time. So uh speaking business has to do with social proof. Social proof is like people need to see that you are speaking before you can be invited to speak. So people don't just invite you to speak. They don't know what you can speak about or talk about. They want to see that you're speaking. And the only way to show people that you can speak is when they see you speaking. You need to share videos of you speaking. You need to share pictures of you speaking. So when you are invited to speak, they're not even paying you. If they're paying your transport, go for it. When you speak, make sure you take pictures. Make sure you take short videos and then share on your WhatsApp status, share on your Facebook. Tell people that you spoke there. They will not ask you whether they paid you or they did not pay you. They saw that you spoke there. Then that will be social proof. When people see you speaking all the time, they'll begin to trust you. They'll begin to build high perceived value. You begin to build credibility and reputation. And when you ask them to speak, they will say, yeah, we'll be seeing you doing that. So come and do here. And who knows? You don't need to tell them that they did not pay you. You know, you don't need to tell them until they ask you. All right. So that is how you go and then you charge them your fee. And again, you start by volunteering. So you have a lot of events coming up in Cameroon. So maybe you could volunteer in some of our events. Just come and observe, speak for 5 minutes. Before you notice, you are speaking for 1 hour and they're paying you in different platforms, in different countries. So you have to just start that way and then it then grow. And then that's how the drive will keep moving onward forward. And before you notice, your message is going across the world. That's awesome. Wow, gallery, my story point from today. Yeah, so that's Ngum, my dear Ngum Palette. You have to go to your gallery, check all the pictures, begin writing your stories, okay? Pick a picture, write a story, and share to your friends, share to your colleagues, share to your spouse. Let them listen to the story and give you feedback. That is how you begin to create your talks. And some of us already have so many talks by now, okay? So that is it. So this book, like I said, is a very great book. So if you want a copy, you can send a messenger message to me on Facebook or to WhatsApp, and one of our team members will reach out to you with a copy of the book. Okay, so we will definitely have hard copies in Cameroon, and then in United States, and then soft copies. But if you get it right now, you only have a soft copy of the book, okay? So, and for everybody who attended this webinar, I have a gift for you, okay? I have a very special gift for you. So I want you to choose which of the books do you want me to give to you guys for free. Do you want me to give you this one or this one or a special uh, discount for this 1 month training program. What do you want? So we have to vote. Somebody is asking, are there hard copies of these books available in Cameroon? Yes, we'll be working on the hard copies of the books for Cameroon. So the hard copies will be in Cameroon by next week. Yeah. So which of the books do you want? Thanks so much. Okay. So I want to at least give out something. I've given so much value, knowledge. I also want to give Speak with Impact. Okay. How many people want that I should give a Speak with Impact book? Okay. Okay. Speak with Impact summary book. Okay. Betty voted for Speak with Impact. Who else want to get Speak with Impact? Okay. Just indicate. Some people don't want gifts. Some people don't want free stuff. By the way, yeah, I want to give to people who want free stuff. Somebody like me, I don't want free stuff, but at times we have to just give. It's not all the time that we must make money out of stuff. So I have already somebody I'll be sending a copy of. So Betty, okay, just send me a Facebook Messenger, and then our team will reach out to you with a copy of Speak with Impact. Okay. So what else do you want from us? Which of the books do you want from us, please? Okay, this is only for people who are live right now. Okay, if you're coming after, this is not for you. It's for the people who are still online. And so Catherine, okay, awesome. Me, Speak with Impact. Okay, great. So we have 2 books to give out. Speak with Impact. Okay, cool. So we have 2 books to give out. Just send me a WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger, and then we'll get the book to you so you can read it. You can read the book in 30 minutes. Okay, it's not a big book. It's just a nice small book. Okay, all right. So thank you everybody for showing up. Okay, please let me know, what do you like me to talk about next time? What would you like me to talk about next time? Just write on the comment section. What would you love me to talk about next time? Is there a topic you would like me to talk about next time in our next webinar? If there is one, just write it down. All right. Okay, great. So you can write that letter. Okay, I got to go right now to my next activity for the day. So I really appreciate the time we had together. Speak with Impact. Speak with Impact. Speak with Impact. Okay, got it. All right. So thank you so much, everybody, for those who watch from YouTube and for those who were with me in the studio here. Thank you. How to overcome stage fright, how to be good at storytelling, how to engage your audience. Okay. Thank you so much, Betty. Well noted. We've taken note of that. We'll work on that. All right. That was it for today. God bless you and wish you a wonderful rest of the evening. Looking forward to see you in our next webinar. And until then, see you and thank you everybody who showed up, and bye-bye. Medium.
You have lived through powerful moments. You have overcome and you have grown. Now it's time to tell your story and get booked for it. At Talks, we are launching a powerful platform called Tell Us Your Story. And it's moment for you to shine. We will work with you one-on-one and coach you to be able to share your story with the world. And we will take your story, edit it, and list it in our platform, Talks. Let the world hear what you've been through and why it matters now more than ever. Spots are limited. If you're ready to turn your story into your stage, now is the time.